If you strain your ears to the breeze over the river Bhagirathi in Murshidabad, you may catch some faint whispers wafting from the past.
Je peux imaginer ma duc de Duras glissant le long de ce
Deze
fleuve.
plek lijkt me beter dan Sirat. De stoffen hier zijn prachtig gewoven.
Wir werden unser Salz mit dem Reichtum dieses
Voices of
Landes
European merchants and explorers, lured by the riches of the Orient. The man responsible for converting a sleepy village into a global hub was Murshid Quli Khan, an able administrator in the service of Emperor Aurangzeb. He had the vision to shift the revenue collecting headquarters of Bengal from Dhaka to Maqsudabad.
মোতামান উল মুলাক আলাউদ্দৌলা শব্দের অর্থ হলো রাষ্ট্রের একজন নিষ্ঠাবান নবাব। মুর্শিদ শব্দের অর্থ হলো বিশ্বস্ত। কুলি ভিত্ত বা চাকর, খাতার উপাধি বা টাইটেল। নাসির জং নাসিরি কথার অর্থ হচ্ছে সব যুদ্ধ জয়ী, তাকে বলা হয় নাসির জং নাসিরি।
Murshid Quli Khan improved the revenue collection of Bengal. He set up a mint at Maqsudabad and encouraged trade with European merchants. Manik Chand, a Jain merchant who accompanied Murshid Quli Khan from Dhaka, played a central role in the founding and development of the new city. He was the personal bank of Murshid Quli Khan. The Muslim ruler, the European trader, and the Hindu entrepreneur joined hands in great expectation. The sleepy village was shaken up by the winds of change. Maqsudabad got a new identity. Murshidabad, the nerve center for art and enterprise, and the political capital of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. The latest in the line of the great cities nurtured by the Bhagirathi after Kanpur, Prayag, and Patna. From here, the river would take a turn and join the Bay of Bengal a few kilometers downstream and open out to the world beyond. Under Murshid Quli Khan's leadership, Murshidabad rose to be the richest city in eastern India.
Murshid Quli Khan made Manik Chand not only the Chancellor of the Exchequer, but also the main collector of revenue.
Coins minted here bore the name of Murshidabad. For his bold steps in ensuring the development of Murshidabad, Emperor Farooq Siar bestowed on Manik Chand the title of Jagat Seth, Banker of the World. The right to redeem old currency for new and the monopoly rights to the bullion trade gave Manik Chand an enormous profit margin. At the time of his death in 1722, Manik Chand was reputed to be the richest merchant in Bengal, possibly in the world. The title of Jagat Seth was passed on to Manik Chand's nephew, Fateh Chand. The economy of Bengal was controlled by the Jagat Seth family for 5 generations. The two most prominent landmarks in Murshidabad are the Hazar Duari Palace Museum and the Great Imambara. The Hazar Duari Palace is a well-proportioned neoclassical building of 3 stories, commissioned by Nawab Humayun Jah. It took Colonel Duncan MacLeod 8 years to build this edifice. Any casual visitor to Murshidabad will be overwhelmed by the grandeur of the edifices and the diversity of architectural styles. He will be intrigued by the codes in the emblems and the ornamental designs adorning the facades of the edifices. He will be greeted by the confluence of cultures and religions.
এই দ্বীপের শেষ প্রান্তে হচ্ছে ঘসেটি বেগমের প্যালেস, তার ঠিক ঝিলের ওই পারে হচ্ছে রাধা মাধবের মন্দির। তো সন্ধ্যের টাইমটা হচ্ছে নামাজের টাইম, আর সন্ধ্যের টাইমটা হচ্ছে আরতের টাইম। ওই পার থেকে সন্ধ্যের টাইমে কাঁসার ঘণ্টার ঢাকঢোলের আওয়াজ পাওয়া যেত।
Azan and Hindu prayer chants enriched each other in the Begum's chamber. The history of Murshidabad after Murshid Quli Khan is the story of India's colonization played out by the ambitious Europeans, the weakened administrators, and the opportunist traders. Among all the 21 Nawabs that followed Murshid Quli Khan, history books have immortalized Siraj-ud-Dawla as the one who took on the might of the East India Company in Calcutta on June the 16th, 1756. In an epochal battle fought out in Plassey in 1757, the Nawab of Bengal was defeated. Mir Zafar, Siraj's commander-in-chief, was crowned as the Nawab. The rest is history. The stunningly lavish lifestyles left behind by the gentry of Murshidabad will take any visitor back to an era of unforeseen enterprise and unimaginable prosperity. Dotted in the twin cities of Azimganj and Jiaganj are the palaces of the other Jain merchants who made Bengal their home. They brought the vigor of the Rajputs into the soft soil of Bengal. They formed the Sheherwali Jain community of Murshidabad. Having started off as bankers and financiers, they quickly became prosperous zamindars. The Dudhorias, the Nolakas, Singhis, Nahars and Dugas set up the Jain Petti of Murshidabad with their palatial mansions and ornate temples. The combined wealth of these billionaire families was more than the wealth of the British aristocracy. Their palaces were designed by the French and British architects.
These are all Victorian furnitures, period furnitures. These are Belgium glasses.
Belgian glass.
Belgium glass. There are 7 types of architecture used.
What would be typical Bengali style?
The arches are of Mughal style. Bengalis, you see the Bengal lime work. The pillars are Corinthian. This will look like marble, right? But this is not marble. This is seashells.
The Kathgola Palace of the Dugas was built to serve as a corporate entertainment center with all the facilities of an elite club in Calcutta. Presumably, this mansion was also used as a weekend family retreat, nestling at the heart of a beautifully landscaped surrounding and far removed from the hustle and bustle of the city. The gates of the palaces were thrown open to the common people in the festive seasons. Holi was a week-long celebration.
There were many celebrations, actually one every month, but the most significant one was the Holi celebration, which in Azimganj and Jiaganj was celebrated for 1 week with a lot of activities over very interesting food, and it was not only confined to the community, but it was a program which all different communities of different faith together celebrated and came to these functions.
The descendants of the original wealth creators of Bengal have come together to form the Murshidabad Heritage Development Society and have pledged to work for the resurgence of their ancestral land.
In the month of sometime in June, I had a dream. In that dream, I felt, I could see that there was a complete ruin of Murshidabad. And when I went there, to my surprise, this dream was a total reality. Because all these beautiful buildings and temples were completely lying neglected. And they were in ruins. That shook me up quite a bit. And I thought that if it is not attended to now, it will be completely finished in the next generation.
The annual Murshidabad Heritage Festival is a step in that direction. Murshidabad is waiting to be explored and enjoyed, to be understood and written about. The erstwhile capital of Bengal is waiting to get back its rightful place in the history of India.